it's Min Ling from Brand Fame, and I'm super excited to be here today to talk to you about the 3 steps to build yourself as an expert or brand yourself as an expert. I'm super excited to get started. So if you're new to my live stream or if you're new to Periscope, go ahead and say hello. I see a couple people joining, so hello everybody that are joining right now. Again, my name is Min Ling. I'm a branding strategist and coach, and I'm super excited to share this topic with you. I'm just going to wait just a few moments for people to join. I'm also going to share this out as well, so just bear with me one moment. So let me know if you are, like, what you do or what you're an expert at. I would love to know. Go ahead and pop it in the chat box below as I go ahead and share this out real quick. Hi, nice to see you. I have some Periscopers. Awesome. Super excited that you guys are here. I'm just going to give it just one moment and also share this real quick, and then we can get started. So first of all, let me know what kind of expert you are. Go ahead and pop it into the chat box below. For example, I am a brand strategist and coach. I'm an expert at branding and helping people get to the core of their message. And so that's what I do really well. I would love to hear from you, what you guys do. So as you come in, go ahead and put that in the chat box. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this subject of branding yourself as an expert. So when you have an expert status, people start to listen to you. They start to want to potentially purchase your stuff, your services. And so it's very important, especially if you're in the service-based industry, to start to create this expert persona. And you want to make sure, first of all, when you want to brand yourself as an expert, that you really are an expert in this field, whatever field you choose. So you want to make sure that you're the best at whatever it is. So if you're in health and wellness, you're the best at whatever piece of that health and wellness. If you are in business, you're the best at that one piece. And what I like to tell people is that you don't want to be very broad when you start out with your expertise. You don't want to be like the best expert in something broad as health and wellness. Pick a niche that is smaller. For example, I could have been an expert, quote unquote, in business, but I chose to be an expert in branding. That's because my background comes from branding. I've worked with many large corporations, businesses. I did branding and marketing for Nestle, Lean Cuisine, and Toll House. I do consulting for companies like Toyota, some other multi-billion-dollar companies as well too. And I definitely have an expertise status with my background and credentials in branding. And so you want to make sure, first of all, that you have an expertise, right? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and block you 1 second. You want to make sure that you have an expertise in something so that you can make sure that when you tell everybody that you're an expert in this particular field, that you can feel confident about that. So that's not one of my 3 steps, but I do want to make sure that you have an expertise that you're really, really good at and that you can be the best at. The first thing that you really need to do when you brand yourself as an expertise, once you already know what that expertise is around, you want to make sure that you have one core message, and you want to stick to it. So here's what I mean by core message. This is one message that you can talk about over and over and over and over again. It could be a theme, a subject, something that you are really good at knowing and understanding and articulating. So for example, in my business, not only do I say that I'm a branding strategist and coach, I also tell people that I strongly believe that branding doesn't start from the visuals. It starts from understanding your brand on the inside, your core message, what your brand essence. All these pieces you need to know ahead of time before you can create those visuals. So that is like the core of my message and who I am as a branding strategist and coach. And so I talk about this all the time in newsletters, in on these scopes and Facebook Lives, everywhere. In my emails. this is like a message that, if anybody knows me or have been following me for a while, knows that this is what I say. I don't say that branding is the visuals. I don't actually coach my clients to do any visuals until later on in the process, because we want to get first clear on their core message and making sure that it matches their ideal clients, and making sure that it's in alignment with them and different from the market. So that's what I preach. That's what my message is all about. And so you want to think about what your message is. For example, let's say you are in health and wellness, and you help women lose the last 5 to 10 pounds. I'm just going to make it up. I'm just narrowing your niche. So in order to lose the 5 to 10 pounds, maybe your core message is you want to have a particular diet regimen, and that's your core message. You need to eat greens, you need to eat drink a protein shake and work out 3 times. I don't know enough about health and wellness to give you a great example, but you want to stick to that message, and you want to keep on harping it at people, because people need repetition. They need to hear things a couple of times in a couple of different ways in order for it to register. And so that's why you want to stick to that core message. Otherwise, if you're talking about diet plans and exercise and the latest fads or whatever, you'll get all scattered, right? And people won't know what to come to you for. And so you want to make sure that you stick with it, so that people can slowly start to see, oh, that's what she's talking about. I get it now, because it takes people some time to understand and comprehend your message. Not that they don't get it, is that it just takes a lot of time for people to process new information. And you can probably talk about that subject in many different ways too, because people hear things differently. I've talked about core messages many different ways and many different scopes, but everybody is hearing it differently. And so that's why it's very important that you understand what your core message is and you stick to it. You also want to, this is number 2, you also want to make sure that you use a message that is not being said in the market right now, because you want to be the leader. An expert is a leader in the industry, right? And so you want to make sure that your message is not being said in the market. Otherwise, you're going to sound like every other person out there. And so in my field of branding, again, so many people focus on their visuals, on graphics, and you have web designers and graphic designers, and they're all calling themselves branding strategists or branding coaches. They're visual branding. That's what they're good at. They don't necessarily get into the deeper stuff that I get into, because they may not have been trained, they may not have done it before, and they're good at what they do. And not to knock anybody that is in that field, but they're much better at visual branding. What I'm really good at, like I've said, is to get at the core message and understand your brand on the inside, so that you can create a brand persona and visuals that really reflect you. But you got to know what you are on the inside first. And that's not being said in the marketplace right now. Most people are focused on the visual aspects of branding. So this automatically makes me different in the market. I've been a guest expert on many different programs and podcasts and different articles. This is what I tell people all the time. And when people hear my speech or whatever I'm talking about, if I'm guest teaching, they usually are like, oh my gosh, I did not think about branding this way. You just opened my eyes to branding, or you made it really easy to understand branding. Now I understand what branding does, or what branding really is. That's usually the reaction that I get, is because I'm not saying the same thing as everyone else. I'm not telling you how to pick colors and logos, and images, right? That's a part of it, but that comes after getting clear on what your core message is, and how you knowing your brand essence and your personality of your brand and all that stuff. That's probably another scope or live stream. But because I talk about this and a lot, and because it's not being said in the market, people come to me to become guest experts on their various events or their various programs or podcasts. So that's number 2. The third thing that you want to do is that you want to talk about your one core message everywhere. you want to make sure that people hear it. It's not enough just to say it once or on one platform. You got to say it in multiple different ways and on multiple different platforms so that people can actually hear it, because we all learn differently, right? Some people are visual, some people are auditory, some people like to write things down, some people like to watch videos. So you really want to make sure that when you create your core message, you want to make sure that it goes out into the market in many different ways. Is this making sense, you guys? If it is, go ahead and just comment below or just tap the screen for hearts or likes if you're on Facebook Live. So I just want to make sure that this is making sense. So you want to make sure that your core message is being shared in multiple places, because your ideal clients are not always going to consume your material in one way. So the more you put yourself out there, the more you'll be seen as a guest expert, whether it's, writing guest posts, whether it's doing teleseminars for other people, whether it's, being a guest lecturer or speaker in somebody else's programs. When you are able to do that and you're able to spread your message in multiple different places where your ideal clients are looking, then you start to be known as an expert. So let me go ahead and recap. So there's 3 steps to becoming an expert. And actually, let me back up. Before the 3 steps, you want to make sure you figure out your niche. What is your niche? Who are you serving? Because that's so important. You can't create a message if you do not know your niche and what you are an expert at. If you don't have an expertise, then it's hard to brand yourself as an expert. So that's like foundation. That's not even like, that's just foundation right there. So you got to know what your expertise is. The first thing that you do once you know your expertise is that you want to pick one core message and stick to it. Whatever that core message is, whatever it is that you always preach, that is your core message. For example, again, like me, I always say branding is not the logos, graphics, or websites. Not at all. It starts from the inside and understanding your core message, your brand personality, your brand essence. All these other things that have to go in before creating the visuals. So that's what I preach all the time. That's what I always say. I tell my clients, I write it in emails, or I, do scopes like this, or live streams like this, or I guest teach on this. So this is my message, right? You also want to, this number 2, make sure that the message is not being said in the market right now, because you want to be that leader. And so if it's already being said in the market, you're not a leader, right? In the industry, you want to say things that people aren't used to hearing, because otherwise you're going to be competing with all those other people that are saying the same exact thing as you. And so you want to stand out by saying something different. So making sure that your core message is not being said in the market. Like I said, a lot of people tell me that the way that I approach branding is so different than all the other people that are out there, because I don't really talk about the visuals. I talk about all the stuff that comes before the visuals, which is the foundational pieces of branding. So you got to really understand, 1, your core message and stick to it, and 2, make sure that message is not being said in the market. Is this tracking? Are you guys tracking so far? If you are, go ahead and press the screen for some hearts, or comment below, or press the like button. Okay, awesome, we got some hearts going. And the third thing is you want to share your message everywhere. You want to make sure that you share your core message in multiple places, because a lot of people, digest information in different ways. And so you want to make sure that you articulate your message in multiple places so that they can go ahead and really, have it sink in. Another thing is, when you do have your core message in a lot of different places and they see it multiple times, they start to trust you. Your ideal clients start to trust you because they're like, oh my gosh, I keep on learning something new from X, Y, and Z, you, right? They keep on learning something new from you. If you've learned something new from me, let me know too. That's my goal. My goal is to teach you a little bit of branding here and there so you learn a little bit more. But it also helps build that trust between you and me, right? And you need to build that trust between you and your ideal clients as well too. If that's making sense, go ahead and tap the screen for some hearts or likes, or go ahead and comment below. So good. We got some hearts going. But you want to build up that rapport, and that's why you want to make sure that your core message is everywhere in multiple places. It's not like you have to say the same thing over and over, because people won't want to hear the exact same thing. So you also want to look at how you can spin it to make it a little bit different, to give different nuances, to give a different spin on it as well too when you create your core message. But I know what my core message is, and then I just kind of figure out topics that are around that. So hopefully this was helpful. If you found this helpful, please go ahead and share it. I would love to, spread this message and share with more people what branding really is and how to really become an expert in your industry, excuse me. And if you're interested in finding out more about branding, you can go to brandfameschool.com/it-guide, where there's a workbook, and part of it is helping you find your core message as well. Go to brandfameschool.com/it-guide to go ahead and grab your free ebook. It's completely free. It's been downloaded over 1,800 times, so it's definitely been in wide circulation, and it works because I get emails all the time saying, oh my gosh, this is so great, this is so helpful. So if you have any questions, go ahead and pop them below, or you can go ahead and go to my Brand Fame School Mastermind. You can just go to Facebook and find the Brand Fame School Mastermind. And I'll be back here doing a scope tomorrow, or Facebook Live if you're on Facebook Live tomorrow. So be sure to make sure your notifications are set. I usually do it between 8 and 9 a.m. So go ahead and make sure your notifications are set so that you can go ahead and hop on. And then if you found this valuable, again, go ahead and share it out with your followers or other people that you know. Definitely want to spread this message of what branding really is and how to really become an expert in your industry. So thanks so much. Again, you can go to brandfameschool.com/it-guide if you want to go ahead and download my free ebook. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye.